Alright, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. This pasta is genuinely terrible. There's not really a whole lot to say that hasn't been said about most other Lost episode themed creepypastas out there, except for the fact of the matter that the story itself ultimately has one somewhat good thing going for it, and that at the very least, it's kinda entertaining. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, a story like this weirdly enough tickles my fancy in some kind of way where I'm not sitting there and completely blowing chunks at how ungodly bad the story is. But despite that little bit of positivity that the story has, there's not really much else to say. It's your typical cliche Lost episode pasta: blood, gore, violence, murder, unnecessary death, a bunch of other stupid crap that happens. Honestly, if it wasn't for like the whole theme concept that this story had, this would have been a completely forgettable story. But with that being stated, I present to all of you, Wow Wow Wubbzy, The Party. Enjoy, everyone. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about Wow Wow Wubbzy, the cat, or whatever he is, who bounces around with his springy tail, with his friends Widget and Walden. I had recently obtained a DVD of an episode of Wubbzy that had yet to be released to the public. My friends work at Nickelodeon Studios, so one of them thought it would be best for a Nickelodeon fan just like myself to be able to test one of these episodes. It came in a blank case, with a sticky note label reading, The Party, in yellow font. There was a storyboard drawing of a party, with Wubbzy chugging a beer. At the time, I had paid no attention to it, and inserted the disc into my player. It started with Wubbzy telling us about a party that he is going to be throwing, and how much his friends will really love and appreciate it. He puts on a menacing grin and then goes inside the Wub Club. Wubbzy grabs a bottle of what I assume is grapey grape juice. He pours some other liquids into, not that it changed much. It cut to a picture of the Wub Club at night. It showed Widget, Walden, Daisy, and the rest of Wubbzy's friends walking into the clubhouse. "Wow, astounding," says Walden. "How'd you plan this party by yourself, little buddy?" asked Widget. Wubbzy simply stares at her, and I could tell it kinda creeped her out. He was smiling, or laughing, just frowning at her for 5 minutes. It got a little staticky, not a lot that I couldn't see it though. I could hear Wubbzy's voice say, "Oh, I just got skills." The quality of the animation was quite choppy. When the static disappeared, it showed the people drunk stumbling blindly around the clubhouse. Walden stumbles back too far and then falls down the slide. At the beginning of the series, Bob Boyle had an idea to be more edgier and wanted to teach kids about death and how it affected friendships. Walden's body slides down until he goes flying into the air. Widget looks in fear as Walden's body crashes into the ground outside. A picture of Walden's corpse is barely recognizable. They took full advantage of it not having to move and made an almost photorealistic drawing of his dead body. Widget asks Wubbzy what he put in the juice, and Wubbzy replies with, "Oh, Widget, I only put in alcohol." Widget's eyes widen. What? Before she can confront him, she gets really drunk and stumbles a bit to the left of the club. Wubbzy, out of nowhere, grabs a shotgun. "Prepare for pain, motherfuckers," he hollers. He presses the trigger and shot Widget 6 times repeatedly. He aims at Kooky Kid and does the same thing. For the rest of the episode, he continues to shoot the rest of the people until there's nobody left. It cuts to a shot of the morning, police cars surrounding the Wub Club, and with sirens ringing in the distance. They investigate the place and find the bodies. One of the police officers found Walden outside and gasped in shock, but still, they couldn't find Wubbzy. It showed Buggy walking until the newsboy, looking very shocked, gave him a newspaper. "Extra, extra," the newsboy screamed. "Dead body sound at the Wub Club." "What?" Buggy replies. "Read this." The newsboy hands him a paper, and Buggy gasps when he reads the headline. "Who could have caused this?" Buggy yelled at the newsboy. "I don't know and I don't care," the newsboy replies harshly. Buggy runs into the crime scene, passing all of the do not cross tape and entering the club. He was almost to the room with the body when suddenly a loud screaming noise could be heard. He turned into a gurgle as Buggy proceeded up the stairs. It can be noted that the scream sounded a lot like the police officer that had discovered the people's bodies. Wubbzy jumped onto Buggy, and the screen flashes static for 7 minutes. Then Wubbzy's seen grabbing the screen before it goes back to static. It went back to the episode with Buggy's dead body lying in a pool of blood. The police, once again, go to the club in the morning. "Hey, Officer Earl," cries one of the officers. "I think we have a new murder, and it's traced to the same place," says another officer, scanning the clubhouse. Wubbzy appears in front of them and says, "Time to die, my pretties." Wubbzy begins to cackle like an old witch before a cop pulls out a knife, screaming Wubbzy's name repeatedly. Then he stabs it into his stomach. Wubbzy's eyes begin to close as he becomes weaker. Wubbzy grabs the knife out of his own stomach and strikes at the other cop, killing him instantly. But soon Wubbzy lolls on the floor, lifeless, as it fades to static. It cuts to Walden, Wubbzy, and Widget's tombstones as Earl and Huggy are crying over their loss. This time, finally ending, I emailed back to my friend, asking him about the blood and gore factor of the episode and the plot of a murderous Wubbzy. He simply replied with this: "Murderous Wubbzy? No, that's not what happens. Lol. It's about a party and Walden gets hurt and Widget must get him to the hospital. Along the way, she meets many new faces. Also, I have no clue where the bloody Wubbzy picture came from, nor do I know about the picture of Walden's corpse. Love, Zacky Wacky." Still curious, I clicked on one of the files, the episode, if you may, that I just watched, and surprisingly, it was the exact plot he had told me about. No murderous Wubbzy, no drinking alcohol, no murders, nothing disturbing at all in the fact. I decided to put this episode to rest, and went to sleep for the rest of the night. In fear and surprise, as your eyes widen, your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave, glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horror-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at